Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and today I have the S8 here with me, and today we're gonna do the full review of the Galaxy S8. So let's get started. Alright, so now we're gonna show you guys the key specs of this device shortly, so you can pause the video here and have a look. Okay, so now you want to see the specs. So now let's get into the pros and cons of the Galaxy S8. So what do I find that I like about this device and what I don't like about this device. So now let's start off with the design. So the design, obviously you can clearly see it has an infinity display look here, edge to edge display, really near to no bezels, so very unique design, and has a new aspect ratio of 18.5 by 9, so you're gonna have a longer display, and which means you get to see more content when you're viewing like maybe a web browser or something, or you're using Instagram, you can see more content, or even Facebook, so very nice there. And yeah, so that are the good things, and obviously you get all those features with the edge display here as well, like you see on the S7 Edge. So here we go. And another thing to note about this design is obviously in the edges here are more sharper a bit, like the Note 7, so you have to hold the phone a bit tighter. It's a bit slippery in my opinion as well because of the glass back, so take note of that. Or you just get a case like mine. I have a case, you can see, which also gives it a bit of grip, and also helps me with the fingerprint scanner placement over here. So yeah, so that's one. That's actually those are pro and cons. So yeah. Okay, so let's move on to the cons of the design. So as I said earlier, that this thing is a fingerprint magnet, so you can see a ton of fingerprints already just by using it for a while. And this back is made of glass, Gorilla Glass 5, and the front as well. So all glass means that if you drop this like back or front, you know what's gonna happen. It's all gonna crack. I saw some people drop like just pocket height, not even a meter tall, and it already shattered the display and the back. So just be careful of your device and get a case straight away, and a screen protector as well. And yeah, so those are the cons of the design of this device. And yeah, so let's move on. Alright, let's move on to the software. So this is running on the TouchWiz, or you can say Samsung Experience UX. I can show you guys over here. It's in settings. I think it's about the phone, software information. You can clearly see we are running on Samsung Experience version 8.1, which is their version of TouchWiz, the latest one. So it's based on Android 7.0 Nougat, not the latest one, which is 7.1.2, but still pretty okay. And in terms of fluidity, everything is very smooth. Animations are smooth. I didn't really notice any lag while using the device itself overall. Only when like you're multitasking or something, sometimes if you open like maybe a lot of apps, 15 over apps for example, it starts to lag a bit, just a minor animation lag. Other than that, everything is pretty flawless, I gotta say. No lag at all in this UI. So yeah, that's one of the good things about this software. The bad things about this software, obviously, is a heavily custom UI, so it might take a bit more RAM than usual, so you might have some apps that might reload in the background. Let's say you open like tons of apps, sometimes it does reload in the background even though you open like maybe a couple of apps, like maybe games. Yeah, some games here, you open like ton of games here, and then it might reload the game in the background because of the RAM management issue. So yeah, so that's one of the issues that I encountered. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this software. Obviously you're running on the custom UI, so you're not gonna get the latest Android security updates or the OS updates very fast, like Nexus devices or Pixel devices. So it might take some time, which is typical actually for Samsung devices. So yeah, and okay, so those are the cons for this software. So now let's move on to the performance of this device. So this guy comes with Exynos 8890-95. For my region, maybe some of you guys might get the Snapdragon 835 or maybe the Snapdragon 835 with 6 GB of RAM. So some of them will be different models in different regions. My one here is the 4 GB RAM model. So as I said, the RAM management is pretty, sometimes it's not that good, sometimes it's okay, it depends on how many apps you open. So yeah, performance wise, I said earlier, everything is pretty smooth. You can run most of the games without any issues actually. I played most of the games. In the list here you can see I run all of these games, actually run perfectly fine. Yeah, the only game which lagged on my device was Asphalt 8. I don't know why the game lags like crazy on my S8, but other than that, other games all work fine, including early access games. Some of the games that I tried in the Play Store that weren't even released ran perfectly fine, so no issues, and all were tested in high performance Quad HD resolution. So I did tweak it up to Quad HD to test the performance and so on. And yeah, so very fast device, obviously for a flagship price you're paying. And now moving on to the camera. So the camera on this thing is similar to the S7 in terms of the sensors, but I have to say it's still one of the best cameras, even though it's only having a single shooter, not dual camera or something fancy like that. Still pretty good for a single shooter camera. I mean, there are tons of options you can do with the front facing camera as well, the rear facing camera. So everything is pretty good. However, you can let's see, they included many software features instead of hardware stuff this year. So we got a lot of things in the software, like we have some Snapchat filters like in the camera app. So most of the all the S8s come with these filters in the camera app. We have the Bixby Vision thing, which if you put an object over here, it will try to scan it and figure out what is it. And also we have a bunch of modes here. This is all the modes that we get, like the S7, but we also get the Pro mode here, which is nice. We can tweak all these in the camera settings as well, and you also can tweak it when recording video. So there's a new thing there. And I think that's pretty much it for the camera app. In terms of the camera photo quality, the post-processing is pretty good. They've done a good job this time, not over sharpening all the images like we saw in the S7, so now pretty good. And yeah, the only bad thing about this camera is, obviously I said just now, it doesn't feature any fancy dual camera setup or something like that, like the iPhone 7 Plus, the Huawei P10 or something. So nothing fancy, just a single shooter. And obviously you can't change the angle of the camera like the LG G6 can. You can choose between wide angle lens and normal lens. That's a problem with this device. Alright, now let's move on to the battery life. So I did take a couple of snapshots in the battery department here, so let's take a look. I think it's this one, no, right. So the battery life on this thing, I gotta say, is sort of above average and pretty good for the size of the battery that they gave. So you can see over here, I'm gonna zoom in. This was when I just got my device, I think about on just got my device on like 4th of May, just recently got it, and the first charge wasn't that good. I got around 4 hours and 18 minutes, which wasn't that bad. I had still at 33% by the way, so pretty good. But as time goes by, I think my battery life improved like crazy. I think this one was the next, it was a couple of days ago, and you can see I have 30% and 4 hours and 51 minutes on screen time, which is pretty good. And I think I have another one here. Check this out. This one was 5 hours and 48 minutes, but I used it until like 6%. So yeah, still pretty decent. And I think this one time I hit 6 hours. Yes, this is the one. 6 hours and 6 minutes of on-screen time, which is amazing. I mean, the battery life was really improving after I started using it as my daily driver. So yeah, and I think this one, this is a software update. No, This was another one that I took recently. You can see I have 6 hours and 44 minutes of on-screen time, and look at the percentage, it's still 27%. So imagine, I think I can go up to like 7 hours of on-screen time, which is amazing. And all these things I just basically used it as like a typical consumer. It was YouTube videos, browse the web, play some games, use the GPS as well for navigation, and also made some phone calls obviously. So yeah, everything about the battery life I think is pretty good. I have really nothing really much to say about the battery. Obviously you might say, oh, the battery is sealed, you can't take it out. Yeah, it's already been sealed since the Galaxy S6, so I guess it's already a normal thing, so you can't take it out. But however, this thing charges very fast. Even though you can't take out the battery, it does support Samsung's adaptive fast charging. You can use their charger to charge your device pretty fast using the cable that's supplied. Also, you can charge it using wireless charger as well, which also charges pretty quick for a wireless charger. So yeah, now let's move on to the security features about this device. So we have a ton of security options on this S8. So you can go to settings, you can go to lock screen security, and here you can see, okay, let me enter my PIN first before I show you. Okay, here you can see we have tons of security options. I mean, I think this is the phone that has a lot. This is the only phone which has the iris scanner security. You can see we have swipe, which is just a traditional swipe pattern, PIN pattern, password. And we have biometrics as well, which has face, fingerprint, iris. You can see I've enabled only fingerprints. I'll explain why I didn't use the iris scanner, because it's not very practical for me. I'm wearing glasses, so when I point the phone towards my eyes, sometimes it does get it right, sometimes it doesn't, so it's a hit or miss. But the fingerprint scanner always gets it right for me, so that's why I always use it. And I know it's at a weird placement at the back like this. You can see it's kind of weird. It's at a weird area, but it gets the job done. Every time I do that, it unlocks pretty fast. You can see it unlocks. So yeah, very fast, and accuracy I can give you maybe like 95% of the time it gets it right, unless my fingers are sweaty or something, then it gets it wrong. So yeah, and yeah, as I said, the fingerprint scanner placement is kind of weird for some people, but I got used to it instantly on my phone. Whether left or right-handed, I really got it used to it instantly, so it works pretty fine. And lastly, that face unlock thing. So if you are keen in face unlock, if you are keen in using face unlock as your security or for your phone, I actually really don't recommend using that, because it's not very secure actually. People can fool your image, so you should just use the fingerprint scanner or the iris scanner. So yeah, so I really don't think, and that's all the things I have to say about the security. I think I did say all the pros and cons. So yep, let's move on to the other features of the device. This is some of the features that actually available on Nougat. So you do get the Google Assistant like this. You can just tap on the home button and you can have Google Assistant, or you can use the Bixby button over here, which I actually, to be honest, I didn't even use the Bixby function here. You can see the setting about this Bixby function. Unfortunately, it's not really ready yet for the or any region in the world actually, or it's except South Korea. Bixby voice, if we can recall, is like the voice. Bixby voice is like a voice assistant in Google Assistant, which will talk to you and yeah, basically communicate with you. But sadly, on the S8 during launch, it wasn't even ready, so we didn't have a chance to use it at all. So I gotta say that's a con, because come on, it should be ready when you launch a device, but it's not ready. So I hope it's ready next month, because they say it's gonna be ready soon. So yeah, just have to wait and see when will the Bixby voice come out, because Bixby Vision isn't that great, to be honest. It's just okay. Sometimes it gets it right, sometimes it gets it wrong, so pretty sad about that. And I think that's pretty much it for the S8. I mean, I think this is one of the best one I've ever used to date. Since I got the S5 as my daily driver for like 3 years ago, and I switched to the S8, if you can recall my video. If you missed the S8 unboxing, you can check out the link here which take you to the S8 unboxing. I forgot to put the link there, so you can check it out. But anyway, so yeah, the S5 I've been using for 3 years, and now I changed to this guy. Man, the difference is very quick. It's a lot. There's a lot of differences. So yeah, and in conclusion, should you upgrade to the S8 if you're using maybe an S7 or maybe older S device, S6, S5, S4, something like that? If you're using the S7, I really don't recommend this device because the camera on this thing is pretty much similar on the S7, and in the processor department you're using maybe the Exynos 8890. It's just a bit slower. It's not that great. I mean, not that significant. With the S8, obviously you're gonna get a better optimization in terms of battery life. Yeah, it really helps. But if you don't want to spend extra money on this thing, then I really don't recommend this thing at all. Just stick with your S7 for now. And yeah, so if maybe you're using the S6, then I can recommend you upgrade, or maybe using the S5, S4. Upgrading to the S8 is very worth it, I can tell you guys. So yeah, and yeah, so that's pretty much it for the S8 review. What do you guys think of it? I think this is the best one I've ever used, as I said, and this will be my daily driver from now on, obviously. Maybe when the Note 8 comes out, things might change. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you very much for watching my review of the Galaxy S8. Hopefully you enjoyed this sort of in-depth review of the Galaxy S8 after a month of usage. Sort of like a month and a few days. I got it on 4th of May. Today is 6th of June. So yeah, there's a couple of days late. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy my review, and obviously I'll do more videos with the S8 if I can. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.